Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me again as we look at question 15 on our grade 10 Cayley paper. Points Q, R, and S, and they say they're at 1, -1, -1, 0, and 0, 1, are three vertices of a parallelogram. The coordinates of the fourth vertex of the parallelogram could be. I feel like there are probably a couple options here. So the real question is, which of these five possibilities is one of the ways you could make a parallelogram? Okay? So if we were to, draw a bit of a picture here, I noticed one of them was at -1, 1. That should be, let's say about here. Was -1, 1. Yeah, oh, no, 1 -1, -1, 0. So I'll say R is about here. It was 1 -1, so we'll say Q is about here. And then S, I can't remember what S was, 0, 1. So 0 and then up to 1 here. All right, so these three are part of my parallelogram. Now it could be we've got sides like this, and so our other point is going to lie somewhere over here. That's certainly possible, but it's not the only option. Okay. You could have something like this and make a parallelogram that way. So you see there are multiple possibilities just for right answers that we could directly compute. Now, what I would suggest you do in this case is say, all right, what are these options? Can I plot them? Do any of them seem reasonable? It's like 0, 0, C does not seem reasonable. I'd have to have something like this. We're looking for something maybe over here, or maybe up here, or maybe there's another option we haven't quite looked at. For example, I think you could probably do something like this down here. So maybe something down around there might be a good idea. Anyways, so obviously C doesn't work. But where's A? So -2, 2. That would probably be over here and up here. And that's not looking too bad. Okay. 0, -1. That's about here. That doesn't quite fit. Okay. A looks like it could be possible. Now, there are ways to more concretely double-check this stuff. D, 3/2, 1/2. We'll go out 1 and then 1/2 and then up by 1/2. Now, it doesn't look like any of the options are around there. Maybe I haven't drawn my picture properly. And then E, -1, 1. So that would be over here and down. That also doesn't quite look it. So it definitely looks like A is the right answer. But how can you really tell for sure? Well, with parallelograms, okay, the lines here are parallel, and the lengths are the same. So if from S to A involves me going over by 5 and up by 3, that should be the same as how do you get from Q to R, over by 5, up by 3. It's not actually those for this particular question. But S is at 0, 1. Okay. A here is at -2, 2. How do you go from S to A? Well, to 0 over to -2, you go over by 2. And then from 1 up to 2, you go up by 1. How do you go from Q to R? Well, Q over here is at 1, -1. R here is at -1, 0. So to go from 1 over to -1, you go over by 2 and up by 1. And so that's a more concrete way to actually see that, yeah, I drew my picture a little off. A should be about here, and A is the other possibility. It is another corner. But of course, there are other possible ways to make a parallelogram, but of the 5 presented options, A was the only one that even closely looked like it. We did a little extra investigation, and we found out, yeah, A is the answer. All right, fantastic. So up next is going to be question number 16. I hope to see you for that one shortly.